This week's parsha is Parshat Reeh, and this Torah is based on some insights I heard from Rabbi Moshe Meir Weiss. I heard them online. And he draws our attention to the second Aliyah, it's chapter 12, verse 16. It says like this, Rak adam lo tochelu, al haaretz tishbechenu kamayim, which means, but you shall not eat the blood, you shall pour it onto the earth like water. And then, just a psukim later, we see as follows, in Chaf Gimel 23, Rak chazak lavilti achol adam, ki adam hu hanafesh, lo tochal hanefesh im habasar, which means, only be strong not to eat the blood, for the blood it is the life, and you shall not eat the life with the meat. And then the next two psukim again, lo techalenu, don't eat the blood. We have 4 psukim to dedicate this. Now, in verse 23, when it says, Rak chazak, that lashon bothers Rashi because it seems so emphatic. What's that coming to add? So it says Rashi, he quotes a machlokat Tanaim about what this means, but the second opinion says as follows. Right? This pasuk only comes to warn us and to teach us just how much a person needs to strengthen himself with mitzvahs. Why? Im hadam. If with regards to blood, which is easy to stay away from it, because a person doesn't really crave it. The pasuk found it necessary to tell you to be strong with its warning. All the more so when it comes to other mitzvahs. That is to say, a person doesn't crave blood. And even so, the Torah says, be very careful. All the more so when it comes to things that people do crave and people do want to do, all the more so we have to be very careful. But even so, asks Rav Galensky, why does the pasuk need to tell us to be strong, be careful when it comes to blood? Why? Blood's disgusting. Who has a desire to eat blood? What's happening here? And to strengthen the question, there's a principle cited by the Ketav of Kabbalah that says as follows: the lashon of rak actually comes for emphasis, and there are at least a couple of examples in the Chumash. We'll quote one. So with regards to Abraham, he says, Rak ein yirat shamayim b'makom hazeh. There's no yirat shamayim in this place. Why? Because they want to take his wife. But he says rak for emphasis. There's really no yirat shamayim here. So there he goes. So do here. Rak chazak. Be extra strong. Why? Why do we need this extra lashon? So it says the Siftei Chachamim. It's a commentary on Rashi as follows. There's an important principle we need to understand here. That is to say, the Torah comes and forbids blood from us. And actually, very interestingly, I don't know if the Siftei Chachamim says explicitly. I'm assuming that's what Rabbi Moshe Meir Weiss was alluding to. We said earlier in chapter 16, it says, Rak adam lo tochelu al haaretz tishbechenu kamayim. Don't eat blood. And then several psukim later, it says, Rak chazak levilti achol adam, ki adam hu hanafesh, lo tochal hanefesh im habasar. Now it says Rak chazak. After we originally got the commandment, now it's saying, be strong, don't eat blood. Why does it need to do that? It says the Siftei Chachamim. Because when the Torah comes to prohibit something, then now we have a natural desire to do it. It just becomes enticing. There's an allure to it. It becomes desirable and exciting, even blood. Something that we have no desire for it. We're told not to eat it. Now I have to be strong. We really want to eat that. It's just a natural human reaction. Normally a person who's told, don't eat it, or whatever, you can eat it if you want to. The person's I'm not interested. But say, don't eat it, now all of a sudden, oh, hang on, what is this? This is very interesting to me. So that's really interesting, and that's what it's alluding to, right? Even blood is something that people have no desire to eat. Even so, rak chazak, you have to be strong. Why? Because the Torah just commanded you not to eat it. And this actually elaborates the pasuk that says, Mayim genuvim yimtaku, but stolen waters are sweet. Now that's a very weird pasuk. Now, as Rabbi Weiss says, and Rabbi Kivatet, they both quote this pasuk, and they say, this is very strange. Water has no taste. What do you mean? Stolen waters are sweet. Stolen waters taste like normal waters. Normal waters are tasteless, so too are stolen waters. The answer is no. Because what happens is even that which is tasteless, it's stolen, it's forbidden, and now you're eating it, it's delicious. There's this extra geschmack that comes out of eating something that you're not allowed to do. It is sweet. That's what the pasuk is coming to teach us. And so too here. Don't eat blood. Before blood, who would have thought of eating blood? I can't eat blood? Oh, hang on, what am I missing? Gotta taste it. Maybe it's really good. Maybe it's delicious. Who knows? Gotta try it out. And that's one of the ideas that's being alluded to here. And moreover, this actually deepens our concept of greater is a person who's commanded to do and does it than someone who is not commanded to do and does it. Now, there are many explanations to this, but at the very least, we understand that once a person is commanded to do something, the inclination to do it decreases greatly. And so too with the negative prohibition. And when you're commanded not to do something, it becomes very difficult. But if you're not commanded, then it's not such a big deal. As a quick example, this isn't necessarily maybe the best example, but as an example, when a person is fasting, Yom Kippur, on Tisha B'Av, whichever, the fast is unbearable. You're hungry, you're thirsty, you can't stop eating, 5 more hours, 3 more hours, 5 more minutes, and then suddenly 8:32, you're not allowed to eat, 8:33, you can't eat, 8:33 comes in. It's a big deal. Just relax. It's okay. We'll walk slowly. Enjoy. You can suddenly wait. It's not such because now you're allowed to eat. You know there's nothing restricting you from eating these. So now it's not as big a deal. You're not thinking about food as much. Now this is one demonstration of this concept. But there's something else that I just want to elaborate on very quickly. We've heard this idea before, I believe, and this is explained by Rabbi Tatz. And it's very interesting to see. There's actually an interesting Gemara that says Abaye saw a young man and woman, they're walking through the woods, and Abaye followed them. Abaye was an Amora in the Gemara. So he followed them, and he's sure that they were going to be up to no good, and they got to a crossroad, and the man said goodbye, and the woman said goodbye, and they went their separate ways, and that was it. And apparently Abaye came back, and he looked depressed, and so his colleague asked him, well, what's wrong? Why do you look so sad? So Abaye said, he told him what happened. He's like, I can't imagine how great the test that man must have had. I don't think I would have passed. I think I would have failed. If I was alone on a dark road with a woman all alone with nobody, I think, watching me, then I don't know what I would have done. And that depressed me that this guy was able to do it, even though he's not holding on my level. So his peer said as follows, he's like, no, you misunderstood. You are a huge tzaddik. Your yetzer hara, your desire to do that which you're not supposed to do, is much greater than his. That's why you're worried. His isn't as great as yours because you're a greater tzaddik. And that requires a lot of explanation. What does that mean? The greater tzaddik should have a smaller. When we think of tzaddikim, of righteous people, of exceptionally learned people, we think that they don't have such a strong inclination. That's why they're such incredible people. But the answer, says Rabbi Tatz, is exactly the opposite. Now, there's one way to understand it, as in they have a deeper appreciation for what you're eating. For example, a person who all they think of when they look at a plate of food is that this is tasty and I want to eat it, okay, well, they'll get a certain type of experience. But a person who thinks of all the effort that went into making this, like all the, the fact that they had to write up a list, think of what they were going to make, then they had to go to a grocery store, find all the groceries, come back, peel it, cook it, wash it, set the table, put the plate on. Now, there's a certain excitement to it. It tastes much better. So too a tzaddik, because he has a deeper appreciation for what his pleasures are, right? With regards to eating, with regards to women, with regards to whatever it is that is prohibited from him. In whatever manner, he has a deeper appreciation for that, and that's why it's more enticing for him. But this parsha teaches us something else, that it's also because a Talmid Chacham, a tzaddik, understands just how forbidden it is. He understands the depths of it. If we were to ask somebody like us, just some ordinary people, why can't you do this? Because the Torah said it can't do it. Okay, it's also prohibited. But a person who's more deeply in tune with the spiritual realities, if I do this, there will be worlds that will be destroyed. I will be destroyed. I'll have blockages from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It will affect my ability to concentrate on Kedusha, my sensitivity to Kedusha, all of those things. Yes, he's aware of that, but that builds a greater taiva to have that. Why? Because he realizes just how prohibited it is. And the more prohibited it is, then the greater the desire to assert our personalities and to contradict that prohibition and to transgress that prohibition. That's the idea. And we'll leave with one last thing that Rabbi Weiss says. I thought this was very powerful. That says, Rak Chazak. That's very emphatic language. Be very strong. Be very careful. Why? Why the emphasis? So says Rabbi Weiss. That's because, again, as we said, blood, person doesn't have a natural desire to have blood. That's very strange. It's very unusual to have such a desire. And yet, says the Torah, be very strong. Why? Because that means there are many things that people have no natural desire to eat, but once they start engaging in it and indulging in it, then suddenly it becomes very difficult to work ourselves off of. As an easy example, smoking. Look at someone when they first take their first cigarette. They can barely breathe. They're going to cough it all up. But then, as they continue to smoke after a couple of years, smoking a couple packs a day, they can't stop thinking about it. On Shabbat, they can't smoke, but on Shabbat, if they don't smoke, then it becomes unbearable. The first thing they want to do when Shabbat is over is smoke. That's the first thing all they can think about is smoking. So too liquor, hard liquor. I remember having my first shot of whiskey. It choked me. It felt like someone poured hot coals down my throat. It was horrible. How could people become addicted to that? But there we go. So too here. The Rak Chazak is saying, you have no desire for blood. But if you get engaged to it, then that's where you need to have a milchama chazaka, in the words of Rabbi Weiss. It's a hard war to win. And once you indulge in this, you have no natural desire for it. But if you indulge, then you'll become addicted. And at that point, it's very difficult to wean yourself off of it. We'll end there. Shabbat Shalom.